I was doing my thing, came around with it, had to show you what I'm twerking with, and I'm working it, and I be out here doing my thing, baby.
Welcome back to my podcast. This is your boy Santana Thomas, and this is my guest.
Hi, Tyra Reeves.
And we're here to do a reaction to 36 questions by women to men. Let's get started.
How does it feel to be the same sex as Donald Trump?
And to me, that's a weird question to ask.
That is a crazy question because, like I was telling you earlier, like I feel like she's generalizing it because everybody deems Donald Trump as a bad guy. So when she's saying like, why are guys like Donald Trump? That in her way of saying that all guys are bad. So I feel like she should, rephrase what she said.
She definitely. I don't know where she got that question from.
Yeah.
Out of all the questions, that to me was a waste of a question.
Right. Now remember, this whole thing is they're feminists, by the way.
Oh, they're feminists.
Yeah, so they're gonna have that like that,
Because I was like,
why do you hate rom-coms? Or do you just feel like you need to hate them?
Everybody likes The Notebook. Everybody likes Beyonce. It's just a fact.
Why do you make women sit around and talk about men in movies
When y'all easily just sit around and talk about boobs for hours?
Why do you automatically assume that you won't like TV or movies that star a female lead?
Why are you surprised when women are funny?
I'm probably funnier than you.
Why do you think that we're obsessed with you when we hook up?
9 times out of 10, I just want you to leave too. I'm busy. I got shit to do.
Why can't I sleep with as many people as I want to without being judged?
Okay, the whole without being judged thing. Hold on, we're gonna finish.
Men do it, they're congratulated.
Why?
Okay, so so she can sleep. Okay, here's the thing. I think that everybody gets judged.
I was just about to say,
I think engage into like the dating world and they start having sex with multiple people. But I feel like women get judged the most because women tend to have more of a higher set standard for them in this society. And I mean, it's been there since
and they don't
beginning
keep
of time.
secrets as much. I think women talk too much.
Yeah, and then it's all about the image. You know what I'm saying? Because what is the number one thing a guy is looking for in a woman?
They're looking for someone like their mother.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So the idea of his mother going around sleeping with multiple women kind of, it's like, whoa, wait a minute. It's an automatic thing that guys think to themselves. But
they want the one that held on to her virginity, which is a fairy tale.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far because, dealing with virgins are complicated. You know what I'm saying?
Sure
like it's not as fun as people think it is.
Dated one?
Yeah. So it's not as cracked up as people think it is. I don't think I want to deal with a virgin. Like, I prefer to deal with a woman who's already experienced in that area. So
but if you meet one,
if I meet one and she's cool and shit like that, that would be a whole totally different story. But I wouldn't go out my way to specifically find a virgin too.
Anybody that does,
right,
something might be a little off with them. I that's just me.
Right.
if you're just out here like, oh, I'm only dating virgins.
Right, that's kind
of... Good
luck. Let's get back to that.
Maybe you consider a woman a tease if she doesn't sleep with you after 3 dates, but a slut if she sleeps with you on the first date.
In what world does no mean yes?
No means no.
Why do you say that women are too emotional to be leaders?
Then justify catcalling by saying men just can't control themselves.
Why do you think that just...
Okay, catcalling. Who the fuck does that?
I looked at that like, was this done in the 90s?
Right, like
that's the last.
Like when I think catcalling, I think of those construction workers that be chilling out in front of the construction site and stuff, and they see like some fine ass chick walking by and they like whisper at her. You see that shit like that in movies. Like I don't even know nobody who catcall. Personally, seriously,
I'm just like, I mean, I've heard of people giving you a line,
Right, like that's a different story versus. Come here, girl. Like I prefer to just walk up to you.
And if a guy's catcalling, I think he may be drunk. So check him for his alcoholic status.
Right. Check him for his alcoholic status. All right. Let's see what I can do.
Because you're nice to me, I owe you my body.
Why would you ever send an unsolicited dick pic?
Why do you feel like it's okay to harass women or make offensive comments about women, but when somebody does it to your sister, it's not okay?
How does it feel to interrupt me when I'm in the middle of making a...
Okay. Why does she pinpoint that out as if men are the only ones that do it?
I
think
that goes both ways.
Yeah, I think it goes both ways, but I feel like in a society, I feel like women put women down more than anything.
They do.
Like I see it all the time through like social media.
Yeah.
I was at Walmart the other day. I seen a female was talking mad shit to this girl. Like I don't even know if they knew each other, but you know, so she was like, "You was wearing them stinking ass leggings yesterday," and blah 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 blah. I was like, "Wow, you just gonna put this woman business out in public?" You know, saying like
they probably had a background.
They probably did have a background.
I'm sure there's a story to that.
Yeah, it's probably some guy. Probably it usually is.
It might have been.
Yeah.
Okay.
Point during a meeting.
Why do you have to sit with your legs so wide open?
Ooh,
I get that you
I
have
want to know
balls,
about that
but
one though.
I don't stand.
Why do men sit with their legs so wide open? Do they just need the...
Dude, your legs are wide open.
Yeah.
So what's going on
I think
here?
it's comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we do it. But like, if I'm like out in like public, or say for instance on like a bus, or I'm like waiting in like the lobby or something like that has like a seat like, you know, where people can sit next to you, I'm not gonna be like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna respect people's personal space. You know what I'm saying? Try to give them as much room as possible. But you know, other than that, I'm like, you don't have to fucking sit there and do this shit. There's a certain way that we're supposed to sit in the first place, you know, like properly and stuff. Like women's supposed to sit with their legs closed like that, and then, you know, guys can do it too, but guys prefer to do it like that.
Only when I have certain types of dress on will you see me literally crossing my leg and being real proper.
Right.
If I'm wearing these type of pants, I'm more comfortable with my legs a little, you know, comfortable.
Yeah, mansplaining is pretty interesting.
That's a new term.
Around with my arms wide open to make room for my boobs.
Okay.
Why are women perceived as the weaker sex, even though we literally birth you like watermelons through like this?
Why is it so?
Okay. Now, can I explain that? Why? That's kind of, she's looking at it the wrong way, because humans, we all, based off of gender, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. And the way she described it, you know, she was describing it as in like her strength is in her ability to be strong. Yeah. I think that like there's a difference between feminine strength and weaknesses versus masculine strength and weaknesses. Like, you guys are capable of enduring much more pain. That's why you guys are capable of giving birth and not dying in the process. Versus if a man was to go through that same process, he would more than likely suffer severe consequences.
Well, they're
and
trying.
might not make that. So, you know, because, you know, women can endure more pain versus men with their strength, physical strength. You know, men can endure more, like, you know, physical. What would you call it? Like,
they can physically lift usually more than most women. I mean, of course, I know there are some 600-pound women out there, but even with that, unfortunately, a man usually can still, a man that's even smaller than you usually can hurt you physically. And it's just, I don't know, it's just the way it is. I don't even know the proper terms or anything, but you know, it's just they have a physical ability that we do not possess.
Right. I'm gonna kind of speak on the aspect of like different like I feel like what makes a woman feminine is that she's more in tune with her emotions versus like logic. Women kind of rely more on like emotions to think and dictate their next move versus men. Men do act off emotions, but I think that like what makes a man is that, you know, he doesn't let that dictate who he is, because you know, man rationalizing. I mean, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want to date a guy or talk to a guy who purely acting off of his emotions, right? He doesn't he acts just like you when you're emotional, right?
It's like being in a lesbian relationship. I've never been in one.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
I never. It's not for me. Everybody kind of knows what is for them and that's the reason why I believe a woman would not be for me, because of course you're gonna meet all these women that will tell you they're not emotional, they're more like a man. But for me, two women not for me. It's just not for me personally.
And then there's a study that I just recently ran across about lesbian marriages. They don't last as long as opposite sex marriages. For the simple fact, I think because of what you just said, like they're too emotional. There's two emotional people. I mean, I'm pretty sure one is masculine than the other, but at the end of the day, they're both going to react off their emotions and let that dictate their outcome.
That testosterone and hormones. Yeah. When we're having our monthlies at the same time, you didn't took my pads.
You took my pads. Like, shit getting petty right there.
I mean, I'm just saying it's a whole lot of that I just don't want to deal with.
That probably does happen too in those relationships. But let's get back into it though.
Bad to show your emotions.
It means you're human.
Why are you always trying to prove your masculinity to me?
Why the isn't it ladylike to cuss? When do words get gendered?
Why is it your first instinct to doubt women who have been sexually violated or raped?
Why do you assume a woman's angry because she...
And I don't know why she said it like that.
Right, because like when I hear about a female like being like sexually assaulted by somebody, I'm not gonna automatically assume that that's not true.
Exactly, I'm gonna take it serious.
Now, like my only thing is, and I feel like this should be more addressed and stuff like that in the justice system, more proof, because I mean, we got guys like Bill Cosby. What's his name? R. Kelly. Fucking what's the other dude?
Trey
he played radio.
Trey Songz. They've been saying he's a
Those Trey Songz?
Yeah, now they're saying he's a rapist. I mean,
okay, so like I get that it's a possibility that could have happened. I'm not sitting there doubting it, but I feel like we should mostly rely on proof. There needs to be a physical evidence, and I think there needs to be, if that, say for instance, if it does happen, I think you need to report that then and there, because they can literally use a sex kit on you, and they can go in there and they can
get all that information. Then you don't have, and I mean, we understand that trauma. There are women that are just going to be too scared or whatever.
They're traumatized from the situation,
from the and it may take them longer. But the point of the platform is to be able to be like, hey, go to somebody that you feel safe telling as soon as possible, so that way, for one, you're believed, and for two, you can save other women or whoever from being assaulted by that person. Because the longer you hold it in, do you think that person is going to stop assaulting people? They're not. They're just going to continue.
And then I feel like the longer that you hold it in, the more people are not going to believe you.
Exactly. After so many years, people aren't going to believe you. There's going to be less evidence. There's, you know what I mean? Things disappear, all that. Well, another thing I would like to say is these powerful men, which, I mean, that's like a whole nother subject, but I had just watched the documentary about basically the Playboy Bunny Ranch, which, what's his name? Hugh Hefner. Yeah, well, basically, majority of these women, which I believe them, they probably were sexually assaulted and all kinds of things happened to them in there, because first of all, they had to sign papers and all that in order to be in that house. So there was a whole nother element to it. But the problem with that is, which is crazy, I believe they signed away their security, their lives, whatever, when they signed all them paperwork, because you went into a mansion, you paid no rent, he gave you a curfew, you were his property almost. And the reason why they had to wait until after he died to even talk about it is because he had them
contract this over with after that.
And it really, I believe it was like 5 years after he died, they still couldn't talk about it. They were under legal terms. So basically, if you're involved in certain cults and situations, religious movements or whatever,
read it all the way through. If you have a
contract, get an actual attorney that is for you. Don't just get any attorney. And read it, really know that it's something you want to do. And I understand when we need money, you may do something that 10 years from now you wish you never did. But then don't go on to tell everybody, oh, I was sexually assaulted and all this kind of stuff. Because to be honest, once you were sexually assaulted, but you signed some papers that said it was okay, and it wasn't sexual assault. You consented to your own sexual assault, and that's a thing that is happening a lot women aren't realizing what they're worth. So sometimes they're down. Don't forget.
They let their self-esteem get the best of them.
Exactly, and lead them into dark places or whatever. I have friends and family that I literally know for a fact that have sold themselves to men for money. And at the end of the day, it's like, don't call it a rape if it's not really a rape.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we were talking about earlier. And ladies and gentlemen, to avoid certain situations like this, do not involve yourself in cults.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Like, seriously.
On her period.
Why do you think women that wear makeup are false advertising? We could say the same thing about your dick size.
Why isn't it weird that there's a bunch of old white men sitting in a room making legislation about what I can and can't do with my body?
Do you have a coochie?
Why are straight guys so obsessed with?
Okay. So the whole legislation thing, with it being overpopulated by older men.
I don't like that though.
I mean, like, okay, so like I thought about that too. It's like, okay, why are these older men?
Because you should be mad about that as well. Don't none of them look like you. You know what I mean? Making decisions for you, your future wife, your children, all that kind of stuff.
I mean, there's niggas out there in higher power.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. We just overlook them for the simple fact that, like, you know, what race is mostly dominating here in the United States of America? White people, Europeans. Well, I wouldn't call them Europeans, but they're white people. You know what I'm saying? I think second place would be blacks. Yeah. So that's why you see more white men, you know, into politics. You know what I'm saying? Up there in the hierarchy.
We need to get some more black men in politics.
Yeah, because, you know, if you look at it like this, you know, black people are out there.
Yeah.
But, you know,
and in our community.
Yeah, in our community.
Thurgood Brooks.
Yeah, exactly.
He's really making moves in Rock Island. He really is.
They're out there. I think it's just statistics.
Yeah,
that's what keeping the numbers looking a little bit off.
And some of them are very controversial. Glenn Evans, shout out to him, but very controversial individual.
Right. Oh, what the hell were you talking about her? What was that about again? I totally forgot.
That the men, white men, are the ones making decisions for women. And that specifically would be about birth control. And remember, they were trying to pass that bill where you could not get an abortion in certain areas. That, to me, was taking it too far. Because, and I guess if someone assisted you with getting an abortion, they can be arrested, all that. Well, it was a mess.
So here's my only thing is, I'm not judging it, and I'm not sitting there trying to like make it seem like all women are wrong for getting an abortion.
I don't believe in abortions because there's too many other options. But
here's my only like thing though: who is in charge of sex at the end of the day?
You.
No.
Well,
you as a woman.
Yeah.
Because what's the man's main purpose?
It's to. Well, they go real quick.
Huh? They
do what they do. They do it real quick.
Is try to get between your legs. Quick. But at the end of the day, regardless of what he does, doesn't matter how nice he is, doesn't matter how much money he has, doesn't matter how many dates he take you out. At the end of the day, you are in charge of that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You are the dictator, whether or not if a guy can get between your legs.
But I believe only if you're strong. Yeah, there are some women that are so weak and feeble and I know we've all met one.
What I'm saying is, once you allow that, it doesn't matter if you're on birth control, it doesn't matter if you're using a condom, there is a risk of you getting pregnant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like in that aspect, women should be held more accountable.
Well, yeah.
You know
I mean, it's a 50-50.
Men should be held accountable, but I feel like women should be held mostly accountable.
I think it's a 50-50.
Because at the end of the day, he can just ditch you.
Well,
and you're left with that baby. You know, so you're left with all that extra bullshit. He should be held accountable too, which we got. He does. We got child support. You know what I'm saying? His ass can't run from that. You know?
Ladies, make sure you're getting their government name.
Yeah, make sure you get their government name. If his name is on a Pookie or low key,
I promise you, I have a real life story. I know somebody. She was 15. We was good friends. Yeah, she was a good friend of mine when I lived in Minneapolis. Went to a party. She was just the type of person that she was new to smoking weed. Anytime somebody would offer her some weed, she was going to take it. You know what I mean? Like that type. And a lot of people do that. Oh, a free blunt. So she went to the party. They were passing blunt. Nobody told her there was abominable fluid in the weed.
So it was laced.
And it was laced. She 15, come on. We didn't even know what that was at that time, seriously. But either way, I didn't know what was going on either. I didn't smoke weed.
So
but
did she get raped?
the funny part is, I looked her dead in her face. I looked her dead in her face, and I was like, "Are you okay?"
Right.
And she looked me in my face and was like, "Yeah,
and
I'll be fine."
Exactly.
I left.
Right.
Her mom got in contact with my mom and was like, "Have y'all seen her?" This was 3 days later.
Right.
And I was like, "No, I haven't seen her." Well, basically, she was found unclothed in a bathtub, no clothes on, barely could remember anything, just looked a hot mess. They knew something happened to her, and heck, they kept asking her questions. She ain't even know who did her, who didn't, whatever. But the worst part was, because for one, it had been 3 days, wasn't on birth control and all that. She was pregnant, and then once they found out that she was pregnant, just imagine going to the officers and being like, they're like, "Well, who did you sleep?" You can't even give them a description.
Yeah. Now in those type of situations, I feel like,
her mom should have
that's a whole totally different story.
Her mom should have got her.
I think the whole abortion law thing should be only restricted to a certain extent. Yep. I don't think it should apply to everybody, because not every situation is the same. Exactly. It's going to be different outcomes and circumstances. So that situation is fucked up, but we're going to get back to the video.
Lesbians. How does it feel to get kicked in the balls?
Do you ever get tired of trying to be manly all the time? Why are you so afraid of gender equality?
Why do I deserve to be paid less than you?
In what world does 77 cents equal $1?
Minimum wage gap actually has been debunked recently. Well, actually, it's been debunked for years now, but more is the information.
It's getting better, I think. But men average make more than women in that.
Right.
I am
so here's my opinion on it. Okay, so where you work at right now? Oh, well, we know where you work at. Well, we're not gonna put it out in public.
Well, we can. I don't mind.
Crazy people.
Shout out. You can pull up anytime. 5 Below and High V.
Okay, so for instance, would you ever find yourself working on an oil rig? Which is literally
I would love to, but I know you have to be trained and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And you know what? That's the thing. I believe that education is the key with all of it.
Well, most of the guys that actually work on oil rigs don't even have a high school diploma.
Well,
you don't literally.
That makes my head
to work on an oil rig, you literally don't have to have any background of a degree or anything like that. Most of those dudes that work on oil rigs,
but that's real heavy lifting. Okay,
they don't care about shit like that. As long as you can get your big ass out there, you can,
I was just about to say, I doubt that they would welcome me, because I ain't lifting nothing.
So that's my point. Okay, so the reason why minimum wage it differs is based off of what man does versus what women does. Women prefer to be in a more calm, less stressful environment. Saying working at a desk or something and being a customer service operator, or something like that. Versus guys that work in more of a dangerous jobs, in factories and shit, where something can fall on top of you and crush you to death. Stuff like that. So that's the reason why guys get paid more. Versus
now women. That makes sense. I'm glad you put that out there. I didn't know for real. I just thought it was
it just all differs.
But there are big women. Don't forget.
But it's say for instance, if they were to put the same genders or different genders in the same circumstances, doing the same jobs, they will still get paid the same because they're still.
Because I have a friend that is a CD. She has her CDLs and she has I forgot. I think it's for Han or something, but truck driver, and I know she
makes some good money too.
Yeah, she does. She looks like she would beat most men up in the Quad Cities. Don't bother her.
Right. Let's get back to the video then.
In what world does 68 cents equal $1?
How is that fair? Why are you intimidated by a woman who makes more money than you? That's awesome.
I don't know any man
Why are
that would be
opinionated women seen
intimidated by
as
a
bitches
woman.
when opinionated men are seen as bosses?
Why aren't you speaking up when you hear your male friends behind closed doors make jokes that are offensive to women?
Why are you so afraid of recognizing your own person?
Because
in
that's
the closet
just
type
fucking
stuff.
jokes.
Okay, yeah, and then on top of that, that's stuff that we don't know about.
Right,
Like that's
like
that locker room stuff that.
right. You know what I'm saying?
Women aren't. I promise you, we're not defending you either in the background.
Right, because I know when I'm hanging out with my friends, I'll be talking about some crazy shit. I have a twisted personality.
We all have.
So.
I'm like, we
You know
all
what I'm
have
saying?
like a story
It's not just a
or
gender
whatever.
thing.
Yeah, it's
You know?
that's just life.
Right.
Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Just recognize it and do something about it.
Well, I think that's it. That was pretty interesting.
I like their questions, even though you can definitely tell they were feminists.
Right.
Their point of view came from a feminist point of view.
And
you
like,
can
no
definitely
offense,
tell.
it was a little bit of radical because they were generalizing a lot of shit. They
I
were
was
putting
like,
all
wow.
men in the same category.
Very
and usually the
stereotypical.
categories that they're putting men in were in like the worst ways
I
possible.
was like, they really had some bad experiences with
Right.
men. I don't know what area they're from.
Miami.
Because Miami. I was like,
I don't know. I heard Miami's fucked up.
Well, because I'm like, maybe that got something to do with it. And I'm not going to lie, this area is not known. Well, I'll say this. Davenport, Iowa is not known for a lot of positive men, but they're hidden. They're hidden. I do believe there's a lot of them. I do meet positive black men. It's just far and few and in between. Right. But there's not enough of a spotlight on them.
Yeah, and I think that like honestly, like good people and bad people are everywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm. You know, every color, every race.
Yeah, every race, regardless. And like, and that's one thing I had to come to the realization of. It's not just in like one area. You know what I'm saying? Especially now that we have social media, we can expand out to the world and see like different things and shit. You know, you start to realize that there's bad people and good people everywhere.
Literally. Know, so. And I'm learning more every day because with me doing the little modeling thing or whatever, like all of a sudden.
Make sure you guys check her out, by the way. I'm going to leave a link on the below. I'm pretty sure you got an Instagram, right?
Yeah, I do. I have an IG.
All right.
Yeah, and I've been learning to do TikTok. I get hate on my TikTok all the time. Which for me, because I'm new to TikTok, it actually made me feel good because I even told the person, I was like, wow, like to get any kind of recognition on any platform was fine with me, baby. If you want to throw a comment and it's shady, crazy, either way, it didn't matter because actually the more comments you get, the just better. I'm trying to get myself out there. I'm like, I never proclaimed to be a professional TikToker, professional model, or a professional dancer.
And I think that's all that matters at the end of the day, regardless if you're good or bad at it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Express yourself the way you want to express. But yeah, so guys, that's about it. If you guys like this video, make sure you like, subscribe to my channel for more future content. And this lady was a special guest, and yes, hopefully I'll have her back on my channel again.
And my hair will be done because, and I'm gonna hit y'all with some bars because I forgot to let y'all know I be rapping every once in a blue moon. Bow. Can I get a little freestyle real quick? Hold up, hold up. Bam, bam. I said he had me on the couch today. I was hitting him with a few verses, and he had me on the couch today. I was doing my thing, came around with it. Had to show you what I'm twerking with, and I'm working it, and I'm working it, and I be out here doing my thing, baby. Yeah, you know it. I'm doing it. I'm hitting to it. They out there. We getting to it. We rapping. We twerking. We doing it all week. We doing our thing because we on heat. Bam.
Okay. All right. Deuces.
Woo, we are crazy.
All right. That was actually pretty